the High Commission of India to Trinidad and Tobago is hosting a grand affair at the National Academy for Performing Arts in South, in San Fernando to be exact. With me this morning to chat about that is Padmini Danuk Singh of the Shiva Gana organization, as well as Dr. Visham Bimal of the Hindi Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, and thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. Happy New Year, first and foremost.
Same to you. Naya Saal Mubarak Ho in Hindi.
Say that again?
Naya Saal Mubarak Ho.
Naya Saal Mubarak Ho.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you learned something this morning.
I learned something, yeah. I don't know if I'll remember it past this interview.
If I come back
but
next year,
will
we'll
try.
refresh, don't worry.
All right, yeah,
Yes.
sounds like a plan. But yes, World Hindi Day, it's celebrated every year on January 10th. And so tell us, what have you done during that time on January 10th itself?
Well, just to give an orientation, it's 2 days. January 10th marks the first ever International Hindi Conference that was in 1975. But there's also the 14th of September, which marks the date when the script Devanagari was accepted as the official script of Hindi. Now, because the 10th of January is more international festivals as opposed to the other one, which is more locally in India, the consulates get funding from the government of India to celebrate the language outside of India.
Right.
What are its strides and basically where is it at an international perspective?
Well, let's bring it to Trinidad and Tobago. Where are we at in regards to the Hindi language in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I mean, the High Commission itself does classes for adults as well as the Hindi Foundation. I'm a member of that organization at schools, primary and secondary. If you were to look at people who speak Hindi in Trinidad, you could divide them in different categories. Well, the first one would be students of the language, which would be more of the younger generation, or at least into the second to last generation. But then you also have people over the age of 85 who could speak Trinidad Bhojpuri, which is related to Hindi, which is that language actually descended from the indentured laborers.
So is it a dialect of Hindi, the Bhojpuri you mentioned?
It's actually like Portuguese and Spanish.
I see.
But it's still related. The whole idea is, if you look at France today, Parisian French is the standard. But before the French Revolution, and you had settlers in places like Quebec, Versailles was the capital at that point, so that Versailles French was the standard.
Right.
So in India, when indentured laborers came, UP Bihar or Awadhi and Braj Bhasha was the standard. But after the independence of India, Khari Boli, which is standard in Delhi, now becomes the standard. But that's also relevant to indentured laborers because the change in India would also reflect what is the language within diaspora.
Right. Definitely.
Just to talk about High Commission events, so since last year, it has been something more grand. So last year was also at SAPA. I think we sent some pictures of the last event at SAPA. So the High Commission, in collaboration with the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation, as well as the Hindi Foundation, again doing this at SAPA this year. But it looks at Hindi literature. Literature is always the best place to start to highlight a language. You also have to remember, and that is why Padmini is here, because Padmini is from the Shiva Gana organization. Drama and literature are very important aspects of a language. She belongs to the Shiva Gana organization, and the Shiva Gana organization does Ram Leela as well as dance. They will be performing 2 dances.
Right.
But it's important to note the significance of a language within drama. So maybe she could probably speak a little bit about
Yes, I was
Shiva
about to
Gana.
ask about the drama side of things.
Okay, so the Shiva Gana organization has been an integral force in promoting culture in Trinidad and Tobago. So they have done, apart from Ram Leela, they do dance, they do different aspects of theatre. And in theatre now you have different avenues that branch from theatre, because you have movement, you have expression, you have learning the language, you have understanding the story, understanding the scripture, and working the scripture within the literature and the context of what you want to get across to the audience, especially audiences that may not understand the scriptures per se. Right? But some of them might know the story, but the history behind the story and, reenacting something on stage without having to say lines.
Okay.
Which is what Ram Leela is.
Right.
It's just movement and expression, no lines.
Right.
So you have to portray a character without using language at all.
Right.
So it's just movement, expression, understanding who the character was and what the person would want to say and do within that particular time, without having to say, which is difficult. I think true actors And when you get good at it, because you start off, when you
Of
get
course,
good,
yeah, you start off shaky, as
of course,
most things go.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the Shiva Gana organization has been able to do that, and with last year we went to India and to perform Ramlila,
yeah.
and we also went Guyana last year. I was part of that team. Extremely interesting because you get two different cultures lazing, coming together and enjoying, the different aspects of drama, Hindi, being able to promote that side of the culture.
Right, and how effective has this approach been toward preserving the culture here in Trinidad and Tobago and the language?
Right.
And
Excellent.
yeah, and that crossover with the different countries. How has it? Has it helped to bolster the understanding of the culture and language here?
It has. We performed in Carifesta last year.
Right.
The response was amazing.
Yeah.
Because we had the islands coming together and they were enjoying looking at, the drama aspect of it and looking at a different type of theater.
Definitely.
I just want to add what Paddy said. They went to India, but they went with a voice. She said, you act it out by miming in a sense, but the scripture is read at the background. So you see what's taking place with narration. But we did something special because we took Trinidad Bhojpuri and we did a voiceover that went with the team to India.
Right.
It was quite interesting what they said there. They were like, this language, they have not heard it, at least only in the older generations. So whatever the language you use which was Trinidad Bhojpuri, so it was reminiscent to a lot of them. They're saying that language itself is dying, whereas it still exists in places like Trinidad, Guyana, and Suriname.
Right, yes.
So that's something important to note regarding language, how unique we are within the Indo-Caribbean space.
Definitely. And just before we close off, let's back tag. When is the event at SAPA? What time and how do people gain access?
The event is on the 18th of Saturday, the 18th of January. It starts at 6, but everybody should be seated by 5:30. They're looking forward to a cultural program. We have Paritosh Kumar Sena, he's a vocal teacher at the MGICC. Kavish from Kavish Diban, Shiva Gana will be doing some dances and other performances. You could get tickets at the High Commission office, as well as the NCIC, Palki in Chaguanas and Palki in San Fernando. And the tickets are free. The tickets is just, the tickets are free, but it's also for security reasons.
First come, first serve. All right, I want to thank you so much for giving us this information on World Hindi Day, which was January 10th. Padmini Danuk Singh of the Shiva Gana organization, thank you for joining us. Dr. Visham Bimal, Hindi Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago, thank you for joining us as well. It's a free thing. You could go experience the culture, so definitely go check it out and learn more about the history and the language of Hindi in Trinidad and Tobago. All right, we're going to take a short break and come back with much more. Stay with us.